What are we good at? Let's go and innovate around those things and adapt around those things, and then everything will be fine for sure.
Hi everyone, this is Tom reporting from the Mid-Season Invitational, and I'm here to talk with Mac, the head coach of Mad Lions, who just easily, no problem, won their game against Pain Gaming. Not really, it was far closer than most would have expected. Mac, first thoughts, just what happened?
I mean, to be really honest with you, I think that we are not playing particularly respectfully towards our opponents. I think both games today and yesterday, we were, I think, 4 or 5K up at like 10 minutes. You know, we were completely smashing the early game, and then we just lost focus. I think it feels like we lost focus, at least, and it feels like the shot calling from us was not as kind of clean as it would usually be, and there wasn't the same sense of kind of urgency of, you know, be on this wave and dive this guy and we are doing this. There was a lot more back and forth in the comms. So I think we were definitely unfocused over the past couple of days. I think it's not been great performances from us. So I'm a little bit disappointed so far. I think, you know, on the plus side, we still have 3 wins in the bag, but it could easily have gone the other way in both today and yesterday's games. So, I mean, I'm happy that we're 3-0, obviously, but yeah, there's definitely a lot to work on.
Yeah. Now, I wanted to say Dom and Kia made it very close earlier today as well. We're just trying to emulate the world champion and see, hey, what you can do, we can do better. But
I mean, everyone's complaining that the games are too boring in the RNG UOL group, right? So I guess we can just we're just doing it for the fans, of course.
Yeah,
of course.
No, but talking about this, we saw that today. I think especially you guys took a very early lead, very dominant. Everybody's like, wow, this is going to be a stomp. And then it started a bit, I think, in the top lane when Armwood was feeling a bit comfortable, and then the rest of the team joined in that style. So how is that then behind the scenes with the team? Because that happened as well yesterday, as you said. So how is that behind the scenes, and how do you walk with your team through that process of evaluating and improving that?
I mean, today in the specific situation in comms where the game started to go worse, I mean, I think we had a really, really bad swap call where we just took their bot tower and then we swapped our bot lane top, and then they took the entire bot tower and then we TP'd bot with armor and then they went top again. Like, and it was a complete mess. I think we gave Jinx like 8-9 plates or something like that, which should never happen. And then I think people were really frustrated after that moment, actually, because they could feel it, you know, and they know that this was a lapse of kind of, I don't know what you want to call it, a lapse of concentration. I don't know exactly what it is. So, but yeah, deviation from our normal level of kind of clarity and urgency in our gameplay. So, I mean, I think from my perspective, from a coaching standpoint, now is a good time for us to take a step back and say, okay, how do we fix this? You know, what's the solution here? What do you guys feel? How does it feel being in game from you guys from a communication standpoint? And number 2, going into the second kind of round robin, how, taking a look at what it is exactly that is working for us, what's not working for us, what we're doing well, what we're doing badly, and then, you know, just commit to those strengths. I think it's really easy in this type of, like the meta is still very young, put it that way. Like it's a very young meta and there's a lot of deviation on what some people do and don't play. And some of the teams in our group, I feel, have kind of very different reads to us on the meta. Like you saw, for example, Pain playing like Hecarim Rel yesterday and leaving both of the Morgana Rumble, like broken AP junglers out of the equation. Yeah. Things like that. So
didn't work out for them very well with the Hecarim at least, right? So, but
no, they drafted a much more standard composition today. But, you know, they still tried the Olaf into the Morgana, right? And I think in a group like that, it's because not everyone is necessarily playing the same meta. It's just, we should just focus on what we're good at, you know, like just say, okay, what are our strengths and how do we draft those strengths? And let's just go and play that. Right. So that's kind of the process that we'll be going through, I think, over the next couple of days.
Yeah, and you obviously have the day pass, which must come as a huge relief when tomorrow Group A is going to finish their games first. And then on Monday, you guys play your group roundup series. You have this experience before, the international stage. Do you notice that there's a very different atmosphere compared to last Worlds within the team, where you are winning, but the games are still pretty, I'm not sure if they actually are stressful. If you say that your players are taking it chill, but the result and the way that the games develop must be pretty stressful, which I imagine was last Worlds also the case.
I mean, today's games were stressful for sure. I think the players were really frustrated after today's game because they know that, like, you know, I mean, all of us were frustrated because we know that we didn't show our best, you know, and that's what we're here to do. We're here to actually like give performances that we and our fans could be proud of, and we didn't deliver that on that today. To be really blunt, so everyone's a bit frustrated. Outside of today's match specifically, I would say the atmosphere is very good. The emphasis on, you know, being positive and being solution focused and adapting and learning from other teams has been really good. I think at this MSI, I mean, the overall atmosphere is a bit different because you have fewer teams. So number one, it's easier to get scrims against top Asian teams because, you know, you can't just get like Damwon scrimming RNG every single day because there's only one Chinese team and one Korean team here, right? So it's been easy to get top tier scrims, which has actually been a really big boost for us compared to, for example, the last two World Championships where we didn't get that many top tier scrims with Splice and Mad. Where now because of that, we've actually been able to, you know, get a lot of scrims against those good teams and learn a lot from them, which has been really good. And yeah, that combined with the thing that I said about kind of our mentality being very good and very solution focused, I think has enabled us to adapt quite quickly and imitate a lot of the things that the good teams are doing. Which I don't think has necessarily showed quite yet. I mean, one of the big things that we've worked on has been our early game. I think if you look at our playoff run against Rogue, for example, we were very behind in a lot of the early games. And that's not something you can say at MSI so far. We've been very dominant in the early game and very confident. And that's something that I think we learned from Damwon and RNG because Eastern teams tend to be much more coordinated, much more aggressive about punishing through jungle, attacking jungle camps, tracking the jungler, managing your wave according to jungle positioning. I think that's something we've improved a lot on. So I'm very happy with that so far. Our mid to late game still needs a lot of work, but that's what it is. That's completely fine.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah. Now you spoke also a bit about picks today. We saw the Kokmal mid, the AP Kokmal, which many people got very excited about, and it dealt a great deal of damage, especially of course in the later game. Is that one? Did he
do the most, or did Aphelios do the most? I don't actually know.
They don't show damage graphs at the end of the game anymore, unfortunately. Yeah. So if you see this, please return those because it's actually pretty interesting to see. But aside from that, is that one of those picks where you think, okay, this is definitely where the meta still could pivot towards from here on out? You also mentioned the Olaf jungle and stuff like this. Is that one of those picks, or is that really an outlier where it was like, okay, against this composition, with our composition, this is what we're going to play?
So the Kog'Maw was a pretty niche pick because he's really vulnerable to getting engaged on, I would say. When it comes to things like, for example, the Olaf, I don't know if it will be Olaf or it will be something else, but I think it will be really interesting to see if more answers to the jungle picks come in this tournament. We've seen a lot of people try a lot of different things into Morgana and Rumble. Not that many of them have seemed to be so successful. But if those answers are found, then that definitely has a big, opportunity to warp the meta, because right now those picks are really dominating the entire draft, and the entire structure of your draft is basically dependent on which jungler you get of the really kind of broken AP junglers right now, which means that there's very little physical damage coming from the jungle, which impacts on every other role.
Right. So to round up the interview then, Mac, you have mentioned before you're quite disappointed with the results, but just do you think that you and your squad are going to be able to improve a lot in the few days that you are going to have until, well, probably the Rumble stage, which is going to put you to a test against the actual top teams? Or do you think that it's a step-by-step process and you'll have to, I don't know, maybe you're at this point, you're like, okay, we'll hope for a top 4 at the Rumble stage. I'm not exactly sure what your expectations and your hopes are.
I mean, I'm always a step-by-step kind of guy, but in terms of our ability to improve and our improvement so far, I think we've improved a lot already. Like I said, we've worked a lot on our early games, and I think there's been a big tangible improvement there in the way that we play. I said, like, we're not happy with the way that the games have gone so far, and definitely I'm disappointed personally with our level of play, but that doesn't mean we're any less confident. Right. I think we've had a lot of improvement, and because of because of the overall mentality that the team has taken towards improvement and taken towards scrimming and has taken towards high pressure in the past, I don't think there's going to be any problems when it comes to the Rumble stage. We're still absolutely gunning for the top spots in the Rumble stage, and I'm confident that we can do that. So it's just a case of doing what I said before, and analyzing and really being honest with ourselves about, okay, what are we good at? Let's go and innovate around those things and adapt around those things, and then everything will be fine for sure. So yeah, I'm still feeling confident.
All right, Mac, thank you so much for joining me today, and well, good luck in the in the final roundup day of the groups. I hope I hope for my personal, for my heart and for my health, for my blood pressure, and probably also for everybody in the Mad Lions stuff that
can confirm.
Yeah, but for the viewers at least, it was entertaining. But thank you very much again, and good luck in the upcoming matches.
Thank you very much.